Let me put it on a couple of other audio channels just to make sure. I can hear myself echoing in my head, so it's definitely picking it up. I definitely see it. Let's see here. While we're mussing around with the sound, we'll sit here and wait for this to unlock. Still nothing on the microphone, huh? Hmm. Let me see here. How about that? Anything better? Oh, you got me now? Okay. I don't know what I did differently. Everything looks like it's the same as it always is. Anyway, so what I was saying is, normally I would like do a preload. I know everybody's like chomping at the bit to get their hands on this thing. So right now we're in early access, right? So I had to pay a ridiculous amount of money to get this 5 days early from the 19th's release date. So I thought I would go ahead, take a couple hours off here at work, and get in here and show it off. So supposedly at 10 a.m. this thing is supposed to unlock for the pre-orders. I did not preload because preload is going to bring an encrypted copy down, and I swear to God on the Steam Deck it takes longer to decrypt it than it does to download it fresh. So we're patiently awaiting the download to become available. So why do I pick certain games to cover when I'm doing these sort of things? Obviously, if I'm going to put a lot of cash into a game, it's something I would like to be able to play myself, which is why Starfield isn't here. Starfield really isn't a game that interested me. So, but Mortal Kombat definitely is, and I'm willing to pay a little premium to bring it to you, hopefully early. I do not want to install. I do not want to preload. Just let me have it. It's definitely after 10 o'clock. I guess it could be late, so we'll just have to sit here. In the meantime, feel free to throw questions at the in the chat. If you're not on the chat now, you can check that out. I appreciate everybody tuning in. I know it's the middle of a work day. Hopefully, I try to plan this sometimes at lunchtime when it's lunchtime across the U.S. But obviously, I can't always. I mean, the game release time is the key, right? So if it's at 9 o'clock, I do this at 9 o'clock. We are still waiting. Let me see if sometimes the deck is a little bit behind. I'm going to take a look at the PC. Definitely not unlocked yet. Still awaiting. So I did, let's see. So what can we talk about while we're waiting, since this still is not up and running yet? Now, I'm starting to worry about 6 minutes in if we're going to see this come down on time. I did preload it on the PC, so as soon as I start to see that it's decrypting on the PC, we'll be able to go ahead and get busy on the deck. But unfortunately, we are patiently waiting. Does anybody have any alternative time frames? I mean, I was told that Pacific time at 10 o'clock was when this thing was going to unlock for the advanced orders. So if anybody knows any different, we won't waste everybody's time and keep this going if it's going to be at 11 or 12 or tomorrow. So one thing I was thinking about doing was, and maybe you guys who are here, since you're obviously the big fans, so one of the things I was considering doing was doing a Baldur's Gate 3 follow-up. A lot of people on Reddit want to know, is it good? Is it worth it? Is it playable? Hello, Sergio. We are patiently waiting for this game to unlock. For those of you who have just joined, I appreciate those of you just kind of hanging out here and waiting. Obviously, we still have to download, which will take a little while, but I'm hoping that this will unlock shortly, or we're just going to be sitting here doing nothing. I was thinking about, it just unlocked in the UK? Okay, so that should be the right time. It just must be a rolling thing. We'll just give it another few minutes here. I know nothing. I know a lot about MK1, but I don't know anything about how it's going to run, right, Sergio? So the question for those of you who may not have the chat open is, what's the better option for deck, MK11 Ultimate or MK1? Don't know anything about MK1 from a performance point of view. I mean, obviously, when it comes to high speed fighting games like Mortal Kombat, obviously sustained high frame rate is what you're looking for, and we know MK11 plays great on the deck. We just don't know what's done under the hood here um, for the Steam Deck. So far, not unlocked yet. Come on, you guys are killing me here. Trying to run a live show. But yeah, so I can tell you though that MK11's great and it's dirt cheap. So it's one of those things that, like, you know how it is with PC gaming, right? The longer you wait, the cheaper it is most of the time. So, listen, if you're not in a huge hurry for MK1, then heck, go grab, I don't know, $5 copy at, cheap digital downloads or whatever, and grab a $5 copy of Mortal Kombat 11. It's a lot of fun. I'm really curious what they've done with MK1 outside of the standard arcade fighting thing, right? I know that they've tried to incorporate things like the crypt and unlockables and things like that to sort of keep it interesting. But I'm kind of interested in what they're sort of horking as the new ways to play. So it kind of looks like maybe mini games. Hard to say. We shall see. But I am patiently waiting for this thing to unlock. Come on. It unlocked in the UK. Let's go. Still has not started decompressing on PC yet. So, patiently awaiting. Try restarting the deck, shutting down Steam on my pick, and reinstalling made the download options come up. Hey, I am totally down with trying just about anything, so let's do that. Quick restart. What's funny though is usually the PC doesn't have that problem, right? Usually the PC like unlocks when it's time, it's time. But hey, listen, I am willing to try anything to get this going a little bit quicker. Because I know you guys' time is valuable. Interesting. It made it both come up on the PC too, huh? Interesting. All right, come on. Let's go. Boot faster. So I was thinking about doing I'm going to release a video later today, a couple hours. It's processing right now, of like the worst areas of Baldur's Gate 3. That seems to be a very popular topic. Like, is Baldur's Gate 3 worth it? Is it good? Does it play well? Well, listen, good to you may be total crap to me, right? I mean, it's a turn-based strategy style game, right? So maybe you can handle 10 frames per second. Maybe you can't. So I thought I'd release some video just showing the three or four worst areas. There we go. You're right. It's unpacking now. How weird is that? All right, so it's unpacking on the PC. Let's get it going here. Let's put it on the SSD. Why not? Thank you so much for that tip. I appreciate that. I don't know why that would do it, but listen, whatever it takes. We're off to the races. Listen, I've loved Mortal Kombat since day one, right? The first day it was in the arcade. What was it, 93? Anybody want to check my math? The original arcade game, it's along with Night Trap and these other games where they became subjects of congressional hearings because of violence in video games and all that stuff. Mortal Kombat I could buy, right? Night Trap was like a really campy PG movie, but it got a lot of press. And of course, Mortal Kombat was definitely in the target scope. Hello, the Transcend Mind. Welcome. I hope it runs well. Me too. Now remember, this is the sort of thing that when we do these sort of things live on the day of, I do like to say we are playing a PC game, right? We know that the deck is sort of like a console and all that, but with full disclaimer, most of these PC games have less grandiose performance on day one, right? So we'll probably get a day one patch later on today as some of the reports come in, and then over time we will definitely see it improve. But so today I expect to see like an 80% thing, right? Usually like what we see today will be somewhat indicative of the final. This is as bad as it's going to be, right? So if you see it today and it looks good enough for you, then it'll probably only get better from here. So the PC is unpacking too. It's a little bit ahead, but the PC unpacks a lot faster than the deck does. So we're at 8 gigabytes on the PC and 2.6 gigabytes on the deck. So it's going to be a while. Not sure if this is true. Just saw somebody post that MK1 is getting 30 to 50 FPS on low on deck. Hope that's not true. Yeah, that's not, listen, you can put up with 10 FPS on Baldur's Gate, but I'm not sure we could handle like 30 FPS on MK1, right? I mean, Mortal Kombat, like I was saying earlier, I don't remember if I was muted or not, but Mortal Kombat's about like sustained 60 frames per second. You do not, especially if you're going to play competitively right now. I don't, I will probably play whatever campaign that there is, which is usually just a story that ties together fights, right? And I'll try whatever these new items are, these new ways to play. But in reality, I don't play competitively. But those of you who do, you can't deal with 30 FPS when the guy on the other end is on a PC running at a solid, 60 plus. Nah, you can't be competitive with that. You need that frame rate. You need the consistent frame rate, right? Not just sometimes hitting 60. You don't want frame timing problems. That's the death knell for competitive fighting games. I know this. Even though I don't play competitively, I do understand and agree that you have to have that. So we'll see. So one thing I will tell you, Kyle, thank you for, by the way, posting. I will tell you that, so it used to be like when the deck first came out, everybody who owned a deck had the exact same deck. So if my deck is running the game at 50 FPS, then your game is going to run it at 50 FPS, provided we're both on internal storage, we're not on the slower 64 gigabyte SKU, or we're on the same speed or class of SD card. Within reason, a deck is a deck is a deck. But over the last year, we've seen a lot of modifications. So you have, of course, the disparity with SD cards. You have the disparity with the speeds of the internal storage because people are changing them out. So you don't really have a deck as a deck. And then when you have people doing like cryo utilities and 4 gigabyte video RAM mods, all of these things, no two decks are alike almost anymore. So when you follow a YouTuber or you're reading reviews or articles about performance of a game in particular, it's really important that you know what they're rocking, right? Are they rocking a vanilla deck? Because you could be seeing something different than what you're going to see when you play the game. So I try to keep myself as vanilla as possible. I don't do the 4 gigabyte RAM hack because it totally screws up Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, along with Advanced Warfare. I don't run cryo utilities because, frankly, I don't see the performance increases that others see. Cryo, yeah. So let's talk about cryo, right? This is something we talk a lot about on Reddit, and it's a big crap flinging fest. So I'm going to tell you my experiences with cryo utilities. So first off, I've done my own unofficial testing with the games that I play with cryo utilities. I do not see the performance increases that people claim that cryo utilities gives them. Now, listen, I'm a backer of cryo utilities. I'm on the guy's Patreon. I give him money every month. And I do occasionally check out new builds, etc., etc. So it's not like I'm anti-cryo utilities, but I don't believe it should be something you install by default, right? So day one, you open up your deck and it's like, yeah, I'm going to install cryo utilities and MU deck. And so cryo utilities does have a place, right, in my library. I do use cryo utilities when I play certain games. And the only games that, for me personally, I'm just saying, with peace and love, the games that I play do not appear to have increased performance with cryo utilities. However, what cryo utilities does provide is the anti-crashing methodology. So I don't know if this is memory paging. I'm not super technically detailed in the Linux operating system, but I can tell you that a game like Sons of the Forest will crash about 45 minutes of gameplay. It'll suddenly start just stuttering, and then it crashes. Cryo utility stops it from crashing. So you can always reload the game and start over and get another 45 minutes, or have cryo utilities on board, and that stops it from crashing. See, I tried Days Gone, and I did not get what you're talking about. I did not get a 10. I did not even see a significant performance increase. Now, I gotta be clear though. In my Days Gone testing, I test the absolute worst area of the game, which is right at the end. If you've played the game to the end, I don't want to give any spoilers, but I'll tell you that you're crawling around, there's stuff burning around you, and you get into a firefight. Cryo did not provide any noticeable improvement for me. So there you go. But again, it's, for me, the games that I play, sometimes these utilities actually make things worse, right? So 4 gigabyte RAM hack destroys Infinite Warfare, and I play a lot of Call of Duty Zombies and Spaceland. You know what I'm saying? So again, I'm not saying that it's a complete placebo, because people, including Kyle here, they see a performance increase. I don't. Not in the games that I play. Not in the settings that I have. Not in the way that I'm playing or whatever. So I don't recommend it as a base install. I recommend installing it when you know that it's, one, going to fix something, or two, will definitively increase the performance in a game that you're interested in, not that some game some guy on Reddit posted about. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I mean, it's probably been a couple of months since I've looked at a build, so maybe I'm due to go back in there. I'm more than happy to go in and try it, but I was not impressed. And like I said, I give the guy money. I'm a patron of his, so not like I have something against it. I have something against people installing it blindly and people recommending it blindly without asking the questions. People are doing this 4 gigabyte RAM hack. They don't know what it does or why it does. Somebody on Reddit told them. They saw some video that had one use case that particular change or that particular tool helped on, and they think it helps for everything. So that's just me though. Okay, so let's see who else has joined the chat. Welcome Hatham. Welcome Boris to the chat. I am so sorry we're still waiting. I mean, I'm wired on 1 gigabit Ethernet, so we're at the whim of Steam on this one. Unfortunately, all these live shows end up being like this as we're waiting for it to download. We're only at 35 gigabytes on the PC, so it's taking its sweet time unpacking. I imagine once it's done unpacking, will be interesting to see if local downloads kick in, right? So once the PC version is completely done unpacking and the files are local, if my download will suddenly shift to a local copy versus a download. Which, by the way, in my environment, my download speeds are typically faster. Let's put it this way: whatever it is that Steam's doing with these local transfers doesn't seem to be ungodly faster, if at all, than actually just installing it from the internet. It's probably the way Steam does its file packing and copying. So, viva Vate. Maybe while we're installing, we could watch a video of Mortal Kombat 1 or something, right? I'm sure you guys are getting tired of watching that little thing go. See, maybe I can go back to, let's go to can you get to the store page from here? Game info. Been on PC all day. Let's see. Let me just use my mouse. Just easier. Unknown compatibility. We're going to find out. Yeah, trust me, I'm old enough. Let's see what we got here. Anything new and interesting? We just have a video playing in the background. Oh, is this muted? Probably. Oh, no, there's sound. It's just not coming through. Second. Boy, I'll tell you what, I've had nothing but troubles today, I'll tell you. Why is the Elgato nuked? Damn it. Glad we're doing this now. Monitor and output. I don't know what's going on. Oh, it stopped now. Oh, there we go. It's just low. This better than sitting here watching watching the downloader install.
It's been eons. It's good to see you.
Likewise, Lord Liu Kang. Duty.
Kyle says, I need this game to run well on SD. I have 2 small children. I can't play this damn game in front of them. So this game has de novo copy protection. Hang on a second. I don't want to yell over the Elgato. Let me move that down. So if you look at the, if you actually look at the store entry, and I don't know if you'll see it here or not, probably not. Let's scroll down. So this has anti-tamper, right? So this is de novo. For those of you who are not like all up to speed on de novo, essentially it is an anti-piracy tool. Unfortunately, it also uses online checks. So de novo isn't like Ricochet. So when people think of a protection or anti-cheat, they're thinking about Ricochet or something like that. And that's something that like Call of Duty uses. The newer Call of Duties use Ricochet. Ricochet. That is actually a low-level, Windows-based, kernel-level anti-cheat system. You can't emulate that through Proton, right? That's why these games cannot be played on the Steam Deck, which is fine. But de novo is not that. It is not a Windows kernel-based thing. The worst that's going to happen is de novo is going to cause probably some performance issues. Is it going to stop us from playing online? De novo probably not, but maybe they use some other sort of anti-cheat that does require Windows. We won't know until we get there. But de novo itself does not necessarily have that. We'll check it out. Listen, that's why you're here. We're going to check it out, and we're going to find out what works, what doesn't work, as well as the performance. You can ask me to play with settings. I'm going to do a baseline. We're going to do it out of the box. We're going to go in and turn everything to the bottom. We're going to do all that good stuff. So that's why you're here. You're here to find out exactly how this works without any sort of nonsense YouTuber, influencer, clickbait crap, right? You're going to see it yourself as it plays. And I have no vested interest in this playing well or not, other than the fact that I paid $100 for this damn game to play it early. I'll tell you what, being able to play Homelander is going to be great. Is anybody like super into Homelander like me? I'm a big fan of The Boys, so I am dying to get my paws on that. God, we're only at like 30. We're like 30% done. Ugh. So we're at 48% unpacking on the PC. It's absolutely ridiculous how long it takes to unpack. I mean, I could even flip open a PC copy and we could watch that for a little while. But no. So, Hatham, I hope that answers your question. It's possible that there's still some anti-cheat stuff that we're not going to be able to run, but we just don't know. I also find it funny that this is like a pretty major AAA release. I'm shocked that it wasn't pre-vetted by Valve. You know, they did that with Starfield, right? I mean, Starfield got like its own update. So, you know, I'm surprised Mortal Kombat didn't get a little more attention, but we'll see. Yeah, Homelander's the bomb, right? Are you a fan of the actor, Kyle? I mean, listen, I'm trying to fill some time here, so I'm sorry if I go off topic, but we got obviously a little bit more time to go. He was the lead in a show called Banshee. If you haven't watched Banshee and you're a fan of Homelander, guy's a great actor. Lots of action. Banshee's got some of the absolute best fight scenes I've ever seen on TV or the movies. And they often do the long one-shotters. So it's really cool to watch them do an elaborate, complex, cool as hell fight scene, and it's like one camera shot. That show's nuts, right? That's something else you can't watch in front of your kid. I love me some Banshee. I've been through it like 3 times. It's one of my favorite shows. I mean, in the first 5 minutes, you'd have to turn it off for your kids, Kyle. It'd be terrible. What's he doing to her, Daddy? Yeah, don't look at that. And don't look at that. And that. And that. Good show, though. Yeah, I like shows for grown-ups. I really do. I like that there's television for. Um, oh, they got a sound-alike or something. Well, the sound-alike they did for Arnie was pretty good. For was that in 10 or 11? I don't remember. The Arnie sound-alike was pretty good. So hopefully he'll be good in here too. Feel bad we're just sitting here doing nothing. Yeah, at least we got some good chat. Obviously, for those who keep popping in and out, they're waiting to see some gameplay. I'm with you. I'm dying to see some gameplay. And some fair warning, right? So I'm not playing with a pass-through setup. I mean, I could do that, but I'm inherently lazy, so I haven't done that. So I'll be playing lagged over the Elgato. So if you see me play like total crap, yeah, I'm not a Mortal Kombat master or anything, but I guarantee I'll be better than what you see me play today because I'll have like a 300 millisecond input lag, and that just doesn't work out for Mortal Kombat. So peace and love, peace and love. I warn you with peace and love. I will not be playing my best game. Oh, that's cool. It's nice that some people like look at video games as the art that they are. Yeah, I think a lot of people feel that video games is like this, I don't know, secondary kid market. Meanwhile, you've got you got top-notch stars playing playing characters in these video games. So I don't know. It's the old school people I think that aren't into it, but I would have thought Anthony Starr would have been in on this. That sounds like something he would do. Maybe the money wasn't right? He's busy shooting, probably making a good chunk of change on The Boys. So, come on, download faster. Well, I do. Again, I appreciate everybody who came in the middle of the day, hang out. Just for an update on the PC side, it is 60% unpacked while we're 38% downloaded. I'd be really curious to see if the download catches up with the unpacking, even on the deck, which is great. I'd love to get like inside of the Steam download infrastructure, right? Because we know that they use this incredibly packed, almost sort of a torrent-based system, but we don't have any details. I'd like to understand the insides of that. Yeah, I'm a total whore for Baldur's Gate 3. I'm not going to lie. Like right now, if I was going to take a couple hours off of work, I should have been playing Baldur's Gate 3. But I'm in the middle of Act 3, and no spoilers. I'm sort of at that point where I'm trying to figure out what I need to do. I mean, obviously, there's little points on the map, and they tell you in your journal, hey, you need to be doing this. But it's like I can't quite figure out how to get there, It's I don't want to spoil anything in Act 3, but it's sort of like I'm kind of in this rut where I'm running around town trying to figure out what to do. But I'll tell you what, that's getting a lot of press, the voice acting in Baldur's Gate. So it's pretty cool. I mean, my YouTube feed is full of, here's an interview with this voice actress, this actor, blah, blah, blah. Here's the infamous bear scene. I've had a really good time. Yeah, it's funny, like I said in my tribute video, for those of you who watched it, I wasn't even looking at Baldur's Gate 3. It was not even on my radar because I'm not a turn-based kind of guy. But listen, when you have that kind of production value and you sort of mix the real-time stuff with the turn-based stuff and you throw in a D&D license over the top of it, it's hard to say no. So 65, who's the math whiz in the chat? So if I'm at 66% now on the PC and 42% on the deck, which, are we going to catch up? My wife is a high school math teacher, so if she was here, she could tell me the formula for figuring that out. Can you imagine that, teaching high school math? Not for a second. Act 3's not fixed on the deck. I don't care. Tune in at 12 o'clock. When you're done with this video, I shot a video less than a week ago showing Act 3 on the Steam Deck. It's not... Okay, depending on what you believe fixed is, it's still sub 30 FPS, right? So for most people, that's not fixed. Is it better than it was? It was almost unplayable. But is it fixed? I don't know if I'd say fixed. But again, see for yourself. I mean, if you're seeing something different than I'm seeing, by all means, please report your findings. Report your settings. But Act 3, and I've got everything pretty well dialed in. Act 3 is still slow. In any sort of big battles, right? If you've been in any sort of real big battles, like towards the end of Act 2, 10 FPS. That's a normal thing. You get a bunch of spells going on, you get darkness, you get a storm, you get all that stuff going on, 10 FPS. And it's not a good looking 10 FPS either, right? You got all the FSR and everything else going on just to try to keep the game afloat. But listen, I'm not complaining. I consider it playable, but everybody's got a different definition, right? Yeah, so here's the thing about GeForce Now. One, it costs money, right? You could play it for free, but if you want it done right, you're gonna not want to sit in line or a queue or anything. I don't know what their queue lines are like now, but they were pretty bad early on. But here's the thing about GeForce Now. You have to have a clean network connection. I'm not talking about high-speed internet. Everybody's got that. The problem is a lot of people, and the only reason I know this, I did my tenure over at the Oculus Quest subreddit, where everybody was trying to stream PC games over to the Quest. A lot of people have really crappy networks. It doesn't matter how fast your internet is. I mean, I've got GeForce Now is great. I got 1 gigabit internet. Yeah, but your router sucks. All the cabling sucks, and you put your router next to your microwave. So GeForce Now is not going to play well for you. But if you have the situation, listen, GeForce Now is the only streaming service that I pay for, and I never use it. I'm only paying for it to stay grandfathered in at the $5 a month plan. But again, it's not a slam dunk. Test your network. If your network doesn't have jitter out the yin yang, which a lot of people's networks do, or if you live in an apartment complex where all the Wi-Fi bands are packed, you're not going to get a good experience. But again, like Cryo, I recommend it only in certain situations. Yeah, fiber's probably great. I've been dying to get fiber here in Phoenix, but Google's been planning it forever. We just don't have it. But you need, there's so many factors with GeForce Now or any streaming service, right? You need good quality internet. You need a good quality, probably not ISP provided hardware, and you need to have a good network internally to your home. And most people don't. And believe me, by the number of downvotes I received in the Quest subreddit, most people are not willing to spend the money to replace cabling, replace routers, spend the time to go in and optimize their channels and things like that. So stability is king. But you know what though? For internet, is there Virgin there? No. We got pretty much one provider, Cox Communication, and they are the definition of a monopoly. So yeah, you could do what is it? It's called Quest. It used to be called Quest Communications. Now it's called CenturyLink. It's terrible. I've tried them all, and Cox is the best, and they're not that good. I mean, speed-wise, I'm fine, but quality's sake, again, fiber would probably be great. But again, I would not blanket recommend GeForce Now to anybody without knowing everything about their network and having them do network tests and all that other good stuff. Great if you can sport it and you're willing to pay for it. Again, nobody wants to pay for anything anymore. That's the other new trend. I'm sliding into grumpy old man mode now, but it's like, God, nobody wants to pay for anything. Pay for it. But yes, I mean, if you were going to if Baldur's Gate 3 would probably be a decent choice, even if your network kind of sucked, because it's what are you going to miss out on if you drop a few frames here, have some crushed blacks here and there, have a little input lag? Who cares? But like Mortal Kombat 1, I wouldn't play that over GeForce Now. Yeah, DNS helps a lot. It helps a lot. I flip between Google's and Cloudflare. Obviously, oddly enough, sometimes one can be better than the other at a given time. But yeah, DNS is important. But, for the most part, though, and again, the only reason I can say this with any sort of authority is because I spent a lot of time helping people optimize their networks for just internal streaming, right? From the PC to the Quest. Forget about going external. That's a whole nother piece of the equation. But internally speaking, people will not lift a finger to make their network any better. Or they can't, right? Well, my internet's provided by my apartment complex, so I can't get to the router. I can't make any changes. I can't change the band. I can't do anything, so it sucks. That's pretty cool. If you happen to get the name of that Aztec, put it in the chat. I'd like to run that and check it out. Because like I said, I used to be a 100% Google guy for DNS servers, and sometimes it doesn't work as well as Cloudflare does. So it's like, okay, well, crap, listen. And sometimes I'll even change over to AdGuard for my entire home. I use AdGuard on every portable device to block ads. Which, by the way, if you're not blocking ads, it's time, right? It's time to start thinking about that. Not because you care about ads, but because you care about performance. If you use the Brave browser, which I do, over time it'll categorize all of the things that it's blocking and how much time it's saving you from each fetch. And over time, like the last time I did a complete wipeout of my machine, I'd saved like 1 year of my life by blocking ads. And, listen, there's all the privacy and security considerations too, but for the most part, I want as much speed as possible. It's just DNS benchmark by Steve Gibson. Cool. Oh, I don't care about Linux. I'll just run it on my PC here. I mean, Linux, my deck is on the exact same hub as everything else is back here in this room. So if it's good for one, it's good for all. 88% on the PC, 88 gigabytes on the PC, 58, almost 59 gigabytes on the deck. I love spending the first half of my streaming time waiting to download. I wish they wouldn't have encrypted. I know why they do, but I wish they wouldn't have encrypted downloads, even though we'd be waiting the same amount of time, right? So we're gonna gain maybe 10 minutes of time if I had done the preload and the unpacking was just as fast as the PC. We shall see. Anywho, oh, by the way, I saw you sneak in, Alex. That makes sense, right? You mean I shouldn't be torrenting a Batocera image in the background while I'm testing my speed? It's funny you have to say stuff like that, though. I'm doing okay. I have an update on Passenger Seat Radio for those of you who follow my podcast. It's a little tiny podcast, nothing like Retro Gaming Radio was, but I've been chronicling my life for almost 20 years on that podcast. Isn't that crazy? It's crazy. I've almost had like 1,000 episodes of Passenger Seat Radio. Nutty. Nutty. Now here I am live streaming on YouTube. Slow but sure. No dead air. I'm watching that new, for those, I may end up doing a video on it too. I'm watching that new RoboCop documentary for those of you who are fans of RoboCop, and can't imagine most people aren't who've seen it. But it's a 6 or 8 hour documentary. You shouldn't be torrenting your legally installed owned games from online. That's right. Damn it. That's why I said Batocera and not some de novo ridden game that has been liberated and set up for all to see. See, I could buy that, right? If people, I don't like talking about piracy, especially like on Reddit and places where people are being monitored and stuff. But listen, if you pay $100 for a game and it's got de novo on it, and you want a version of it that does not, because you want the most out of your money, I don't have any problem with people picking up a archival backup that is de novo free. Especially since de novo calls home. I wouldn't mind so much the anti-tamper stuff, because I'm okay with that, especially if it stops cheaters in multiplayer games. But boy, I hate the calling home crap. Especially single player games. Why are you calling home? Don't do that. Yeah, Homer, stop doing that. Oh, it's verifying now on the PC. So I guess I would have lost that bet. Can't you install Mortal Kombat on an external drive? Installing it on two machines at the same time would take up the same bandwidth. No. Oh, because you missed out, Aztec. I preloaded on the PC, and I downloaded on the deck. So there was no bandwidth being sucked down from the PC install. I already had that. The PC was doing nothing more than decompressing and verifying. It's still verifying, by the way. It's like a third of the way done. So, yeah. That's sort of that's the rub, right? So whether you download fresh or you preload and decompress, the time so far, I've done a few of these live bits now, and it turns out that at least in the PC versus deck scenario, it definitely seems to be almost faster, if not faster, to download versus the whole unpacking and verifying thing. Yeah. I thought about that. I try to be prepared. I do as the best I can, but look, you see what I have to work with. See if I can drop a couple more movie lines in. Maybe we can make a game out of that. Every time I drop a movie line, one of you IDs it in the chat. Part of my brain operates only on movie references and television references. It's one of those things about getting older. So I've got on my little notepad here behind me, I got settings, game modes, and online. Is there something else that you guys, that I can take some notes on? Because once we're in here, I'm not going to be looking at the chat quite as much. So is there something you would like me specifically to take a peek at? I mean, I figure those are the things that people really care about. Can I play online? What are the settings to get the best performance? And, and for me personally, I want to know the game modes. What are we going to have for game modes? Because while I enjoy the arcade aspect of Mortal Kombat, I'd be looking to get a little something else going on. Right? What was that? Adventures of Sub-Zero. That was kind of interesting. I like that. I like the fact that we can take an IP and monkey with it. Not replace, but alter an alternative idea on the IP situation. A lot of people are hanging out. I appreciate that. Probably because we're counting down on time here. Now, the real question is once it's done verifying, so this is another little test, Aztec, that I wanted to see. If you're in the middle of downloading on the deck and your PC finishes up and has all the files, will it immediately kick over to local file copy mode? I'm curious. See, my wife knows that I'm doing something on air, so she wants to interrupt me. Then again, she's a high school math teacher, so, I have to talk her off the ledge. Okay, so the PC version just finished, and I'm waiting patiently to see if it suddenly kicks in. I don't think it's going to, though. Yeah, you tried it on yours, too? Great minds think alike, right? I bet if I stopped it or paused it and restarted it, which I'm not going to do, calm down, I bet it would pick it up, or maybe restart the deck. It would probably pick it up. But I already know that I don't gain any speed going with a local transfer. So we're just going to let it finish. No, apparently it's not just you. It did not switch over here either. So we will just be patient. It's almost done. It's almost done, folks. We can get on with the party. How long have we been here? 45 minutes. Oh, you had to delete it and start it again. That sucks. Yeah, that local transfer stuff, I've been playing with it since it was in beta, and it's like, I get it. I understand why it's there. Especially if you, every time you add another machine to the network, it would definitely help out. Or if you were quoted, or you had slow internet, or, there's a number of different reasons. Oh yeah, the Transformer games, forget about it. You have to go abandonware on that. I'm really of a mixed mind to that whole thing. As long as everyone can agree that it's still not legal, but you're going to do it anyway, totally fine with that, right? But unfortunately, those of us who are the elder statesmen of this art, we need to be a little more transparent to these people. It's like, okay, Is anybody going to knock down your door and arrest you for playing a Wii game on your PC? Probably not. Now if you download it from some terrible website and your ISP now knows about it, and the FBI has some sort of a sting on your ISP, yeah, you could possibly be dragged into. Is it going to happen? Probably not. But don't just say, well, it's fine, it's abandonware. No, it's still illegal. Okay, it's still illegal, people. But you're going to do it. You're probably not going to get caught. Just understand that it depends on where your moral compass falls. But you know what? Listen, something like that, if they're going to pull something off, and delist it and make it unavailable, listen, somebody's got to preserve this stuff. But by the way, downloading Switch games is not preservation. Just want to point that out. I'm very adamantly opposed to Switch piracy. Namely because it's a currently active system. Now, you want to go download all the 3DS games you want, go for it. But this is Nintendo's livelihood here. Leave the Switch stuff alone. Go play 3DS stuff. Half of the games are the same anyway. Sorry, Alex. Yeah, SSH works fine. I can see anywhere from 50 to 80 using Ethernet. I don't know what you're seeing with SSH over a USB cable, but you had to go in and monkey with. You had to do the MTP fix thing, right? That's what you have to do that from BIOS. Somebody was saying that once you do that, and I tried it too, but I don't know if it's been fixed. Once you change that, you can get MTP, but you can't boot from the SD card slot anymore. Nintendo is really sadly strict on the takedown of most modded altered versions, and they should, honestly. Let's be clear. This is a current gen system, right? It's a console. You want to play modded games, buy a PC. Everybody knows what they get into when they buy. Hey, Brian Holtz here. Holy crap, it's one of my passenger seat radio convertees. Interesting. I will have to look at that. Because I didn't think you could SSH through USB, so you have to do the MTP route in order to get them to communicate. But again, listen, I know enough networking to make myself dangerous, and that's all I can say about that. I'll check that out, though. Always looking for the bigger, better deal, my friends. Yeah, Kyle, listen, I'm with you. I'm with you here. But you know what? Listen, again, I put this out and I say it with peace and love, that, one man's trash is another man's treasure. And if I could see a sustained 40 in Mortal Kombat 1, I'm not competitive. Okay, I'm warning you. I'm not competitive. Tamaz, that's what other people said. Use SSH over the network. Yeah, that's what I do too. Yeah, 30 to 50 is not good. Now, non-competitively, maybe if you're going to play the campaign, it might be okay. But we're going to see. And remember. Day one, right? This is the day one release. We don't even have a day one patch yet. Later today, this video could be completely invalid, right? And in a week, it will certainly be invalid. Which is why I really, I know this is my YouTube plug, but, I really try hard to make sure that my content's kept up to date. A lot of people are interested in pushing out as much as possible. They don't go back and deprecate their videos. They don't go back and supplement or reshoot videos based on the latest and greatest. I do my best. I really do my best to go back and try to clean things up because I know what we see today is not going to be indicative of the final product. Guaranteed, set in stone, to be sure. Yeah, Mortal Kombat, I don't think 40 is going to work out, especially if you're competitive. Now, again, if it's 40 with perfect frame rates, might be okay. Hard to say. And what I would really like to see, I know this is like totally petty, but I hate having a $2,000 Windows gaming PC and the cutscenes flip over to 30 FPS. Come on, guys. Come on. It's 2023. No more 30 FPS cutscenes. But we're going to find out. We've only got a few more minutes here. I feel like I'm like playing the lottery, waiting for my numbers to come up. We shall see. Alex. Alex gives pitches a lot of crap. He's part of my inner circle, one of my passenger seat radio listeners too. Alex likes to give me a lot of crap about accepting of 40 FPS, and I did a couple of videos talking about 40 FPS and why I think it makes a difference. And it does. It's like, well, if you can do 40, you can do 30. It's like, that's not really true. If you can do 60, you could probably do 40, aside from rare instances. Yeah, slowdown's the problem, right? Was that Cesar? If it stays a constant 40, I'm fine. I should be okay. I will not complain. But if it vacillates between 20 and 40, 30 and 40, no. You can't play Mortal Kombat that way. You're trying to get off like a 20-hit combo. You can't have frame rates jumping around like that. What's it running for on CD keys? I've only seen a couple. See, the problem with those key vendors is if I want to do a show like this and have it the moment that it comes out, I have to buy it on Steam. Because every time I buy a key from a pre-order key from CD keys or from Eniba or whatever, it's like the key comes like 8 hours later. And it's like, dude, this is YouTube, man. 8 hours later is an eternity. If I want to get any sort of traction with this damn stupid video, I need it the moment it unlocks. But I do. I am a big fan of reputable third-party keys. That's one of the things that separates us from the console animals, right? Is we have a somewhat open market. And I'm not afraid to utilize it if possible. All right, we're finishing up the final stretch. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. All right, finalizing. Which, by the way, finalizing on a cheap SD card is misery incarnate. Okay. Oh, my controller went to sleep. Great. Is it time? Let me get the audio turned up a little bit. I'll try to shut my yap so we can enjoy like the intro and stuff. I'm a Mortal Kombat guy. Always have been. Never been a Street Fighter person. Not a single one of them. Not Street Fighter 2, not Street Fighter Alpha. Listen. I played a lot of Amiga fighting games, like Ultimate Body Blows, which is a lot closer to Street Fighter. Here's my thing. Here's my rub. And listen, this is me. I own my statement. I don't like games that pause when there's hits, right? Street Fighter, Capcom versus Marvel. There's a certain genre of fighting games where like every hit has like a little micro pause. I love the fluidity of tramping out a 20-hit combo and just decimating my. I don't like any of that. Hey Starlight, yes, absolutely. I will listen. Steam Deck is my priority on this channel, but I do promise ROG in my intro, and yes, later on I will try this game. But if I'm going to take 2 hours off of work, it's going on Steam Deck first, right? That's right. Okay, first run. We're sitting here with a dark screen. Game scope is like locked up. Let's hope that that's not a bad sign. We know it'll actually run. Just how well will it run? So I guess we're probably waiting for, maybe we're waiting for some initial. Does it require Proton? I never change Protons unless I have to. And so we may have to in this case, right? Because we're sitting here at a locked up screen. What I'll probably do is dump the deck and bring it back up and we'll try it again. So my rule of thumb is I got a great chart. I'm going to do a nice Proton video at some point. Something a little less than my Proton 101 video. All right, it looks like it is definitely hung. Let's go ahead and dunk out of here. Let's just try one more quick restart. Did anybody happen to notice if there was any pre-install stuff? I missed it. I was busy yapping. All right, so let's see what happens now. The game scope looks like it's hung again. Oh, there it goes. All right. Okay, so listen, day one's thing. What can we do? Maybe we made it this far before too. I didn't see. All right, let's get this party started. Let's see. Make sure my Elgato sound is up. All right, let's go. Building shaders. The dread of every PC player. That's good though. I'd rather have him build it now. Have you ever had an issue where you exit a game, it doesn't exit? Yes, I had a lot of problems with that when using GE Proton around games. I don't know if that happens to have, if that is of all part of it. But what's going on? Oh, it's still building. Boy, it's slow though. Look at that. All right, listen, it's day one, right? I told you we were going to have some problems with day one, and we're going to have to just deal with it and get in there. This is the other thing too I like to do on my channels. I don't want to. I know there's something to be said for brevity, but in some cases, a review may not tell you that it takes 20 minutes to build the shaders for the first time, or that you had to run it more than once. Some people would run it once and then return it if it didn't work. My favorite game ever, dude. I've been playing games since like 1976. You know how hard it is to pull a favorite one out of there? I can tell you that the last one that I considered like game of the century was Witcher 3. I think that's I think Witcher 3 is probably the best game that's been made. I know a lot of people have problems with the combat. They changed that. They added multiple. I didn't have any problems with it until somebody had to tell me I don't like the combat. What do you mean you don't like it? What's wrong with it? Well, I don't like it. It's like, okay, well, I guess a bunch of other people didn't like it either because they added new stuff. But in my opinion, if you can get engrossed in a game like I did with The Witcher 3, Elden Ring, I don't care for that style. I haven't even played it, so I can't comment on it. I need the story. I need Witcher 3. Listen, Aztec, I can send you. I wrote here. Let me put it to you this way. I love Witcher 3 so much that it ran my life for like 3 or 4 months. I've written articles about it. I've discussed why I think it's the best game in 20 years. I even spent an entire month, all of my free time, morning, noon, and night, making, because I'm Gen X and I grew up with MTV, I actually made a Witcher 3 music video. That's right. And it's all set. There was a period of time a few years back when they were the song "Holding Out for a Hero." Right? They still use it. I mean, it still shows up in trailers and stuff all the time. "Holding Out for a Hero." But I used that as the bed, and I shot every moment of that video myself, and I mixed it myself. I edited it. It took a month plus. Okay, enough of this nonsense. Who cares about my Witcher video? All right, let's get it on.
Would you like to enable screen reader? Disable the button select up and down. Now
you guys hearing that? Is this loud enough? It's all turned up. I don't think I can handle hearing the narrator, so we'll disable the screen reader. Oh, good, the license agreement. Do anybody want to hang out and read this? Why is my right stick not scrolling? There we go. Let's see how long it is. I own you. I own your children. Everything you make for the next... it's not as long as I've seen some of them. That's probably only one of them, though. All right. Home theater, TV set. We don't have a lot of choices here, huh? I guess we'll stick with TV set, I suppose. Descriptive audio is off. Okay, so this is going through the Elgato, so I'm going to probably have to crank it a bit. There we go. It's barely visible. It's all the way up. Okay, let's get it on. We'll sit through the intros and stuff. So right now, it looks like this... Is this a cutscene or is this a studio promo? Because it's at 60 FPS right now. If it's a cutscene, that's great.
Having liberated the hourglass and become keeper of time, my next task.
Thank you for not making a 30 FPS cutscenes. I'm already happy I spent $100.
Past events. I was free to craft a new era. It was with humility and restraint that I approached this blank canvas.
Voice actor sounds familiar.
After
Anybody know who that is?
preparation, I began work, painting over the darkness. After eons passed, I sketched out the realms. After eons more, I brushed them in with life. In my new era, all beings will have the opportunity to find peace. Whether or not they do will be their responsibility. For my power only permits me to begin this endeavor. It is the duty of mortals to finish it.
You guys catch the frame hiccup? Oh, there we go. We must have kicked to the engine. Alright, so what do we got here? Online communication, fine. Season of Fire. Alright, so we're sitting here. So I'm assuming that this is like a lot of the current gen games like Ratchet and Clank, where sort of the menuing system here is indicative of what the engine is running. So hopefully if we go to settings, we'll be able to actually monkey with these things in real time and get an immediate look at the frame rate changes. Okay, we're not going to worry about... So we're not going to worry about that. Okay, here we go. Calibrate display, blah, 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 TV set, so basic crap. Now let's talk. Okay, so borderless 720 VSync is on. Graphic preset is custom. So they must have done something fun. Pre-made some stuff, some filtering. They're on medium, blah, blah, blah. Oh, they have an auto config. Let's see what that does. Bless you for having an auto config. Anybody else feeling a little nauseated at this point? It's starting to look like a PC game for me. Let's see. See if they dial something in and go again. Once we're done monkeying with the settings, we'll get to all the other good stuff. Israel, just keep asking for your stuff, man. That's what I'm here for. This is their test to see if we can maintain a solid 30 FPS, right? Man, I'm not thinking that it's been optimized, huh? So let's see what it came up with. Graphic preset is low, 30 FPS limit, upscaling method is off. Why would they do no upscaling? Oh, that's why. Oh, we do have FSR, that's something. Oh, we even have FSR too. Okay, so we have a bunch of stuff to try. Rendering scale, sharpness, blah, blah, blah. Everything is pretty much off. Okay. Well then. How unfortunate. Anybody, you want me to turn off VSync? We can do that. I think we should probably just go ahead and start monkeying with upscaling, right? Let's go ahead. We'll default to FSR2. I usually go with balance, but tell me in the channel if you guys want something different. Tell me in the chat. So let's do a quick benchmark based on these settings. Yes, save the settings, please. Let's see what we got going on. Downscale image and use Steam Deck FSR. Yeah, we'll try that too. I try to save that as a last resort, but that's rough, man. I love the fact that they have this much of a benchmark and a config tool built in. I really do appreciate that. Get solid marks for that. I'll check your 16 by 10. It won't matter though because it won't work through the Elgato. I would actually have to disconnect it to find out. So, but I'll look. But every time I do this through the Elgato, 800p is out of the question. But let me look. Happy to do so. Yeah, the Elgato's stopping me from being able to monkey with that, unfortunately. So that's enough of that. Our internal rendering resolution's already pretty low. Let me take off the 30 FPS lock. Is there no unlimited? Okay. Well, we're not going to probably see 60. We'll leave that on, I suppose. Let's take another look. Let me try performance. Not that I suspect it'll change much, but let's do it anyway. Aztec, can you check on the actual deck outside of being through the external video and tell me if it's got an 800p mode? That'd be great to know. Hey, we might be able to actually lock it down to 40 with this. And unfortunately, through the Elgato, I cannot lock down to a 40-40 scenario. It just won't work. It won't capture right. So, but this looks, I mean, for 40, I think we're okay. Not that the quality looks that great after we butchered the crap out of it. But it looks like 40-40 is possible. So, now's the time. If you want to see anything else, before I move on, I'm going to lock this down to 40. So, I'm glad it actually has a 40, which is great. But if anybody wants to see anything else, please let me know. Otherwise, we're going to kind of lock it in here, because I figure this is probably the best we're going to get. The other thing we could try, believe it or not, is XESS sometimes actually helps, which is goofy as hell. But let me try balanced. I've seen this actually look better. So let's take a look. Just for fun, let's try to be as comprehensive as possible. It's quite the music score they got going on back there. Alright, so in this case it didn't help. Alright, we don't have to watch the whole thing. Alright, cancel this. Damn it. Cancel the cancel. It's our vector, Victor. Alright, so I'm going to assume... that we are the best we're going to be with FSR2. And we were... Oh, they have an ultra performance? Oh, okay. Look at the render resolution. Good stuff. Let's take a look. It'll look like an Atari 2600 game by the time we're done with it. Let's take a look. Although I will tell you, I will take a graphic hit for a game like this if I can have it at 60 FPS. Oh, I should have turned the frame rate off. Oh, never mind. Look at that. Oh my goodness. How messy. It's like an oil painting. We get it. All right. Thank you. Alright, so let's put everything back. We had something halfway good going on. I think we had this just straight performance mode. 40. Okay, I think this is all we had before. There's really nothing else we could turn off. Okay. Alright, it's time to go get into the meat and see what we got here for those who might be able to handle... let's see, what is it? Setting it to full screen or later restart the game. Okay, well, hey, I'm willing to do that. Sure. Sure! That's why we're here. Oh, we get windowed and borderless. I've seen that happen before, too, so... No full screen here, anyway. Alright. So let's move on. Let's see what we got here. Basic campaign story. Let's see. Changes each season. So we have our season mode. We have towers, okay, standard stuff, and the story versus local online and tournament. Let's see. Customized fighter with cosmetics. Oh boy, my favorite. Practice tutorial. Ooh, practice performing fatalities. Nice. Extras, we have our standard shrine and unlocked art, music, etc. So it looks like it's pretty much the... Yeah, I can restart the game, sure. Happy to do that. I promise we'll get to the game, folks. I see we got a decent number of concurrent viewers. I want to drive you guys off. We're getting there. So it looks like what we're talking about here is possibly a locked 4040, FSR2, and low settings across the board. That's my final findings so far. Let's see here. So settings, let's do this while it's loading. So settings, low, FSR2. We had performance mode. Can't type here. I've been holding the controller. Looks like 40 FPS, maybe 4040. Let's try that out when I can. Have to do off-screen stuff for that. I'll fill in the other stuff. We need to check out the game mode or the online mode, though. All right, enough of that. It just runs. You're going to want to go in. The benchmark that it does in its auto config. This is for Daniel. The auto config does not perform like we would hope. Instead, we're looking at the settings that I've typed in the little box behind me. This appears to be okay. So let's go here. Oh, I see what you're saying. Hang on. Oops, wrong one. So this is sort of where we're at for the graphic preset. For those of you who have joined us late, this appears to be something in the capable 40 stable access. We've got, hey AJ, we haven't got there yet. We've been busy monkeying with this thing. So let's take a look. Let's go ahead and see if online even works. I'm assuming I don't need the tutorial. Oh, I guess so. So we have to, I guess it forces you to run a benchmark. I don't remember doing that before, but that's fine. No, AJ Taz, it does not get 60, nowhere near 60. It looks like 40 stable is going to be about where, that's going to be our best bet. This is what you're seeing right now, or within the 15 seconds of this. This is as good as it appears to get. But again, it's day one. No day one patch yet. No optimization patches yet. This is out of the box day one. One of those things where I'm going to say, if anybody asks, wait a week. Check back again. This is installed on internal SSD. It's a Sabrent rocket, so it's not stock. And the Sabrent rocket does bench higher than the internal, at least the 256. Okay, so now let's see here. We'll just do casual, no King of the Hill. Let's just do a quick versus. So what we're looking for here is the online capability working on the Steam Deck. And so far, but once we're in a match, we'll know. But so far, it hasn't kicked us out. It hasn't locked us out. So far, anyway. If we can actually get in a match, that'll be what we're looking for, right? We just want to make sure we can get online and play with some other human. It doesn't look like anything's blocked, though. It does not appear that there's any anti-cheat going on here that would prevent us, at least from getting started. But we'll have to wait a moment. Oh, there we go. We got a match. Excellent. Perfect.
Cool. Let's see, he's a Sub-Zero fan. I love how the game puts you your character.
Lee May. Scorpion. Frost.
It's actually so dope how it literally picks you the character that you're playing with or training with.
Sonya Blade. Temple of Kataravala.
Your brother is wanted for aiding Shao's rebellion.
Yet he will face my justice, not yours.
Round one. Fight.
Alright, see how this is gonna go. I have to relearn everything.
I wouldn't resist arrest.
Round two. Fight.
That was great. Whoa. That sucks. Lost my controller, huh? I don't know what happened there. Let me see if I can get back on with the deck. Okay, well this will be interesting to play like this.
I can hear the talk.
Finish him. Lee May wins.
Okay, well there you go. So, yeah, I'm not playing that online. Okay, well there we go. There's the online. So, let's see here. Let's make some notes. Works. Not optimal. Alright, so let's see if something local will behave a little bit. I'm also going to make a note that I lost my external control. I see my controller is acting, maybe my batteries are low, so it may just be me. Alright, well let me grab the deck here then, and we'll do what we can. Alright, so online works. Let's take a look at something local. I guess versus, I need another human for that. Unless I can play CPU local. Let's see. Load times are a little longer than I would expect too. Maybe this can be skipped. I think this will be, oh, there we go, CPU, perfect. Let's take old Barack out. And, anybody got any preferences?
Raiden.
Alright.
Sonya Blade. Sonya Blade.
Oh, well, everyone wants the chicken there.
Ying Fortress.
My appearance scares you.
I'd be lying if I said otherwise.
Yeah, look at him. I have nightmares that have better looking guys in there than that.
Round one. Fight.
Man, it's been a long time. How dare you tag her in? Get ready. You never can go wrong with violence with this game, anyway.
Stay away from the
Round two. Fight.
I'm also curious if this smooths up over time. You know, maybe the shader building is not 100%. Maybe there's something to do with the Steam Deck. Or stop talking. Gotta relearn everything. Get up.
I must protect Earthrealm always.
Final round. Fight.
I'm missing having my controller. I'm going to lean over here. I didn't need the extra help losing. Lord. My reflexes are slow, old man.
For the Shaolin.
Just get it over with already. Yes, please finish me.
Raiden wins.
Okay. So I'm going to go back to the channel here. All right. So let's see what we got. So far, no anti-cheat problems. Game modes, let's see. So we have campaign, invasions, towers. I have, dang, maybe my controller did just completely die. Local online tournament. All right. What else we got, guys? I'm starting to fastly run out of time. I got about 7 more minutes. I didn't really feel the input lag. I need more time. You got to understand, I'm like leaning over my desk to play. I'll need a little more time to play and just kind of kick back and relax with it and get to the feel of things. So I'll post some follow-up. I'll put something in the community at least. And again, like I said, I'll be following this up probably with a post day 1 patch, week 1 patch. What I recommend at this point? Probably not. I would wait a week. I'd wait a week. I know everyone was dying to get their hands on it, but in my opinion, we at least need the first quality of life patch to come out, and we'll take another look. All right, well, listen, thanks so much, everybody, for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. Hanging in there for the first 30 minutes of nonsense. I will get this information up on Reddit as well, so I can share the wealth. And I appreciate you guys a lot. Thanks so much for subscribing to the channel and being part of the Monroe world. It's been a lot of fun. So thanks a lot, everybody, and we'll see you in the next video. Don't forget, I got a Baldur's Gate 3 worst of video dropping in about 30 minutes. So enjoy that. Take care, everybody.